Welcome to the Karen Reed Retrial Recap and Summary. This is for day 27. I was behind and I'm trying to catch us up. I'm FCA. I don't have any legalese experience professionally, but I am an outside juror, and I would like to remind you that you don't have to be a professional baker or own a bakery to know how to bake. You don't have to be a professional in everything to be able to observe and make commentary. So again, you can watch below for yourself. I will put the links from Court TV and Emily D. Baker. Just for transparency, I do typically watch Emily D. Baker because she helps break down the law a little bit more, and that way some of the stuff I'm going to say is going to be from a professional, just kind of secondhand, reiterated, if you will. But let's talk about day 27 of the Karen Reed retrial. So as I mentioned in the last video, going into day 27, we had a plow driver who actually has a lot of familiarity with the Albert family. But he was a very calm, very subdued witness, actually. Such a stark difference from almost anybody else we've had on the stand. Other than the Nagels, if you remember, we had Julie Nagel and Ryan Nagel, I believe his name was. It's been a long trial. But we have Brian Logren, and this gentle giant is how I would describe him. He is a plow driver who was driving up 34 Fairview on the night of the incident. And he said that he's very familiar with where the Alberts live. He's very familiar with where a lot of people on that live. It's his regular route. He's been here his whole life. He knows these people in this small town. And he was driving up and down, doing his plowing job. And he had made note that he did not see a Ford Escape. For anyone who doesn't know, Brian Higgins owns a Ford Escape and was at 34 Fairview the night of the incident. And he said that when he first went down, he didn't see it, but then when he came back up later to do that same street, he wasn't able to, he had to maneuver around the SUV, and he said that it was late at night, and he pays attention, and he did not see anybody out on the lawn. And the reason why this matters is because he is distinctly paying attention to where yard lines are and where curve lines are, or the berms. Very important in this case, because he has to know where he's driving to as he's picking up snow. He has to make sure to actively avoid parked vehicles, etc. And so he was very calm. And when he was cross-examined, when he was asked about social media influence and things that people said, Brennan tried to make it seem like he was just trying to be the hero, that he was celebrated, that people were happy after he testified, and he was something, and whatever. And he was just very much like, I don't care. He goes, my wife had passed away. I wasn't paying attention to any of this media crap. He goes, yeah, people were celebrating me afterwards, but I don't really care. I said, saw what I saw. It's the same thing that I saw. And his testimony was very consistent from the start to the finish. And it made me tear up, because as he's talking about his wife passing away, you could just see that it still hurts him. It's still a lingering pain, and that always sucks. Okay, we're with it. But he was very consistent from direct examination to cross-examination. He wasn't trying to fight with anybody. He asked direct questions. And he was a very, very good witness for the defense. He was straightforward, and he's very believable. And we also had another lovable witness, Karina. And she is a friend of John O'Keefe's, and she was at the waterfall the night of the 28th, going into the 29th. She was not drinking, This is a very good witness for the defense. She was very likable last trial. She's still very likable this trial. Again, very consistent testimony to what she had before. And she said, yeah, I've seen other stuff in the media. She goes, but I was already there. She was drinking water. She had just happened to go out because people had texted her that they would go out. She said that that was the first time that she knew of Jen McCabe, and that Jen McCabe had introduced her to her brothers and to some other people. She said, she goes, but I spent most of my time talking to Karen. That's who I was closest with. And she goes, yeah, I was there for a little over an hour. And she goes, of that little over an hour, she said, I spent about 50 minutes of it talking with Karen Reed. And it was like, oh, what did you talk about? And she goes, oh, she was saying that she was excited for John O'Keefe's niece getting into this school. It was a very happy, celebratory, feel-good thing. And she goes, we were just, chatting. And she was asked, okay, well, did she seem like she was insanely drunk? Was she acting wild? And she goes, no, I didn't notice any major difference in her demeanor. She was speaking coherently. She was making full sentences. She wasn't slurring her words. We were just having a nice, lengthy conversation. She was able to maintain conversation and eyesight and whatever else. She said she didn't seem drunk to me. She seemed just fine. And that means a lot, because some people have different actions to being certain levels of intoxicated. We all know when people have gone too far. We've all seen that with ourselves, for most of us, or with our friends. And so we've known people who, when they start acting like, oh, they're going to be sick in the morning. But Karen Reed, by most people's accounts, was not noticeably intoxicated. That she wasn't, falling over herself drunk or anything like that. Then Karina also pointed out that she heard Jen McCabe say to Karen Reed, you're coming with me. You're going to come with me. And it was asked why it was pointed out. She goes, that had never happened before. She goes, I've seen, the group, and she goes, it just seemed weird. She goes, that there was something about she goes, I couldn't tell you anything about the intentions behind it. She goes, it just stood out to me. It just seemed weird in the moment that Jen McCabe was trying to be really insistent with Karen, you're going to come with me. You're going to come with me. And again, this can be taken either way. Was Jen McCabe trying to intentionally separate Karen from John, for Brian Higgins' sake or whatever? Or was she just saying, no, come on, you're gonna come to the house with us? Because Karen Reed had said that she did not want to go to the Albert after party, and John did. So was Jen McCabe just trying to be encouraging, going, come on, you're going to come with me. It'll be fine. It'll be a good time. Or was it, you're going to come with me whether you like it or not? Was it more confrontational? Karina said that she didn't see anything that really gave it away one way or another. It just seemed weird. That's what she said over and over. She had a very short thing. Most of what I would consider more trustworthy witnesses, it's you're not going to get anything out of them. They were just this is what I saw. This is what happened when I was there. I don't know anything else. And that's what we went into. And no, I was not going to try to mess up another last name. So I did actively avoid saying her last name in this.